Thomas is a tank engine who lives at a big station on the island of Sodor. He's a cheeky little engine with 6 small wheels, a short stumpy funnel, a short stumpy boiler, and a short stumpy dome. He's a fussy little engine too, always pulling coaches about ready for the big engines to take long journeys. And when trains come in, he pulls the empty coaches away so that the big engines can go and rest. Thomas thinks no engine works as hard as he does. He loves playing tricks on them, including Gordon, the biggest and proudest engine of all. Thomas likes to tease Gordon with his whistle. "Wake up, lazy bones, why don't you work hard like me?" One day at the point of big express, Gordon had arrived back inside and was very tired. He was just going to sleep when Thomas came up in this cheeky way. "Wake up, lazy bones, do some hard work for a change. You can't catch me." And Duff Thomas ran laughing. Instead of going to sleep again, Gordon thought how he could get back at Thomas. One morning, Thomas wouldn't wake up. His driving fireman couldn't make him start. His firing went out and there was not enough steam. It was nearly time for the express. People were waiting, but the coaches weren't ready. At last, Thomas started. Oh dear, he yawned. He flushed into the station when Gordon was waiting. "Hurry up, you." "Hurry yourself." Gordon, the proud engine, began making his plan to teach Thomas a lesson for teasing him. Almost before the coaches had stopped moving, Gordon reversed quickly and scuppered to the train. "Get in quickly, please," he whistled. Thomas usually pushed behind the big trains to help him start, but he was always uncoupled first. This time Gordon started so quickly they forgot to uncouple Thomas. Gordon's chance had come. Come on, puffed Gordon to the coaches. The train went faster and faster, too fast for Thomas. He wanted to stop, but he couldn't. Stop. Hurry. Can't get away. Poor Thomas was going faster than he'd ever gone before. He was out of breath, and his wheels hurt him, but he had to go on. "I should never be the same again. My wheels will be quite worn out." At last they stopped at the station. Thomas was uncoupled, and he felt very silly and exhausted. Next he went onto the turntable, thinking of everyone laughing at him. And then he ran onto the siding out of the way. "Well, little Thomas," chuckled Gordon, "now you know what hard work means, don't you?" Poor Thomas couldn't answer. He had no breath. He just puffed slowly away to rest and had a long drink. "Maybe I don't have to tease Gordon to feel important," Thomas thought to himself, and he puffed slowly home. Thomas the tank engine was grumbling to the other engines. "I spent my time pulling coaches about ready for you to take out on journeys." The other engines laughed. "Why can't I pull passenger trains too?" "You're too impatient. You'll be sure to leave something behind." "Rubbish. I'll show you." One night, he and Henry were alone. Henry was ill. The man worked hard, but he didn't even get better. He felt just as bad next morning. Henry usually pulled the first train, and Thomas had to get his coaches ready. Henry is ill. Perhaps I shall pull his train. Thomas ran to find the coaches. Come along, come along. There's plenty of time. Thomas took them to the platform and wanted to run round in front at once. But his driver wouldn't let him. Don't be impatient, Thomas. Thomas waited and waited. The people got in. The conductor and station master words up and down. The porter banged the doors. Still Henry didn't come. Thomas got more and more excited. So Topham Hatt came to see what was the matter, and the conductor and station master told him about Henry. Find another engine. There's only Thomas. You'll have to do it then, Thomas. Be quick now. So Thomas ran around to the front and back down on the coaches, ready to start. Let's not be impatient. We'll wait till everything is ready. But Thomas was too excited to listen. What happened then, no one knows. Perhaps they forgot to couple Thomas to the train, or perhaps the driver pulled the leader by mistake. Anyhow, Thomas started without his coaches. As he passed the first signal box, men waved and shouted, but he didn't stop. They're waving because I'm such a splendid engine, he thought. Henry says it's hard to pull trains, but I think it's easy. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Tended to be like Gordon. People had never seen me pulling a train before. It's nice to them to wave. And he whistled. Thanks. Then he came to a signal at danger. Bother! I must stop, and I was going so nicely too. What the music signals are. He blew an angry. On his whistle, the signalman ran up. Hello, Thomas. What are you doing here? I'm pulling a train, can't you see? Where are your coaches then? Thomas looked back. Why, bless me, if we haven't left them behind. Yes, we better go back quickly and fetch them. Poor Thomas was so sad he nearly cried. Cheer up. Let's go back quickly and try again. At the station, all the passengers were talking at once. They were telling Topham Hatt what a bad railway it was. But when Thomas came back, they saw how sad he was. He couldn't be cross. He was coupled to the train, and this time he really pulled it. Afterwards, the other engines laughed at Thomas and said, Look, there's Thomas who wanted to pull a train, but forgot about the coaches. But Thomas had already learned not to make the same mistake again. Thomas the Tank Engine wouldn't stop being a nuisance. Night after night, he kept the other engines awake. I'm tired of pushing coaches. I want to see the world. The other engines didn't take much notice, but Thomas was a little engine with a long dome. But one night, Edward came to the shed. He was a kind little engine and felt sorry for Thomas. I've got some freight cars to take home tomorrow. If you take them instead of me, I'll push coaches in the yard. Thank you. That will be nice. Next morning, Edward and Thomas asked their drivers, and one they said yes. Thomas ran off happily to find the freight cars. Now the freight cars are silly and noisy. They talk a lot and don't attend to what they are doing. And I'm sorry to say they play tricks on an engine who is not used to them. Edward knew all about the freight cars. He warned Thomas to be careful, but Thomas was too excited to listen. Shunter fastened the coupling, and when the signal dropped, Thomas is ready. The conductor blew his whistle and started off. But the freight cars weren't ready. Oh! Wait, Thomas, wait. But Thomas wouldn't wait. Come on. Alright, don't fuss. Alright, don't fuss. Thomas began going faster and faster as he rushed through Henry's tunnel. Hurry! He was feeling very proud of himself, but the cars grew closer and closer. At last, Thomas slowed down as he came to Gordon's Hill. Look out for the train. Steady now, steady, as they reached the top. He began to put on the brakes. We're stopping. No. Go on. Before the driver can stop him, they have pushed Thomas down the hill, laughing behind them. Poor Thomas tried hard to stop him from making them go too fast. Stop pushing! But the cars took no notice. Go on! That's the station. Oh dear, what shall I do? He cried. He ruffled straight through and swerved into the goods yard. Thomas shut his eyes. I must stop. When he opened his eyes, he saw he had stopped just in front of the buffers. They were watching him. It's a Topham Hatt. What are you doing here, Thomas? He asked. I thought that was freight cars, Fonsa. Why did you come so fast? I didn't mean to. I was pushed. You got a lot to learn about freight cars, thought Thomas. After pushing them about here for a few weeks, you more almost as about them as Edward. Then you'll be a really useful engine. Every day, so Topham Hatt came to the station to catch his train. Hello, he always said to Thomas. Don't let the silly freight cars tease you. Remember, you have an important job as a special helper in the train yard. There were lots of freight cars, and Thomas worked very hard pushing and pulling them into place. There's also a small coach and two strange things driver called the crane. That's the breakdown train. And the cranes are for lifting heavy things like engines and coaches and freight cars. One day Thomas was in the yard. Suddenly he heard an engine whistling. Help! A goods train came rushing through much too fast. The engine is James, and he was frightened. His brake box on fire. They're pushing me. All on. Still whistling. Help! Poor James disappeared. I'd like to teach those trucks a lesson, said Thomas the Tank Engine. Soon came the alarm. James is off the line. The breakdown train, quickly. Thomas was coupled on, and off they went. Thomas worked his hardest. Hurry, hurry, hurry! He wasn't pretending to be like Gordon. He really meant it. Bother those trucks and their tricks. I hope poor James isn't hurt. James' driver and firemen were feeling him all over to see if he was hurt. Never mind, James. It wasn't your fault. It was those old wooden brake blocks. Thomas pushed the breakdown train alongside. Then he pulled the unhurt freight cars out of the way. Oh dear, oh dear. Serves you right, serves you right. He was hard to do, puffing backwards and forwards all afternoon. This'll teach you a lesson. This'll teach you a lesson. And the answer, yes it will, yes it will. They left the working cars. Then without the cranes, they put James back on the rails. He tried to move, but he couldn't, so Thomas helped him back to the shed. So Topham Hatt was waiting anxiously for them. Well, Thomas, I've heard all about it, and I'm very pleased with you. You are a really useful engine. James shall have some proper brakes and a new coat of paint, and you shall have your branch line all to yourself. Oh, thank you, sir. Now Thomas is happy as can be. He has a branch line and 2 coaches called Annie and Clarabelle. He puffs proudly backwards and forwards with them all day. He is never lonely. Edward and Henry stop quite often to tell him the news. Gordon always in a hurry, but never forget to say. Thomas always whistles. Henry turned.